Good afternoon, good evening, and good day, ladies and gentlemen, to the Heroes CCL pre-show presented by Wisdom. My name is Bahamut, joined by Justing. We had a little bit of time off for the US holiday of Thanksgiving, but we're back with a bunch of awesome clips from week number 4 of Heroes CCL to get you all excited for this upcoming weekend of amazing Heroes action. And Justing, we gotta immediately jump into Towers of Doom, where we saw Simplicity go up against Granite Gaming.
Yep, let's get into it. So Simplicity Pants gets caught as Dahaka, but since he's Dahaka, even 4 members of Granite Gaming is not enough to take him down. And since the portal from Medivh kind of split the fight, Gia's now in an awkward position and he just gets picked off, completely isolated from his team. And they try to salvage the fight on the side of Granite Gaming, but in a 4v5 against the Medivh comp, the health bars just aren't moving for Simplicity. And this is the final shot, so they basically just need to throw themselves at this to try to stop it. And Sko goes in for a bit of a flank to get the stall onto Unaverted, but he's just immediately turned on by Mene. And it's just Medivh, once you lose one member trying to fight against him, it's just too strong. There's just too much protection, just not enough damage to come out for the side of Granite Gaming. And Simplicity secures the shots and secures the series with the 3-1 victory over Granite Gaming.
There was an awesome series right there, and we did have a really cool win from Granite Gaming that we will circle back to towards the end of these highlights because, I mean, I know you're all itching to watch that double boss play, but we'll get to that a little bit later. It was a really dominant victory from Simplicity. We're excited to see how they'll fare in week number 5 with the extra time off. As we get into our second clip here, Justin, we're going to see diamondhands up against Storm Esports, and Curse Hollow was looking quite exciting for both of these teams.
Yeah, this is a incredible place to be in for both these teams. The action is the hype is real in the game 5, and the clip begins as Storm Esports is biting off a little bit more than they can chew here. They get a little bit overextended trying to chase for kills, and immediately Nintori just turns around with the shockwave, and they don't get the sanked out in time. And now Storm is on the back foot, and Gotfilth was rotating from mid, so he's on the flank, and they don't see that coming at all. And with 2 members down, it's just diamondhands just running them down, just chasing them across the map. The map is too wide open, too big, and they're just too quick. They can't escape at this point. And finally, after getting reverse swept 2 times on the side of diamondhands, they're the ones doing the reverse sweeping. And in game 5, they take down Storm Esports and get a reverse sweep of their own.
An awesome reverse sweep from diamondhands that they were really excited to be able to do, and I'm sure that's got to alleviate a little bit for them, as they have had, as you mentioned, a couple reverse sweeps against them. Just like I said about Simplicity, excited to see how diamondhands will fare in the upcoming week. Will they get into another situation where they start to fall in that game number 3, or will they be able to close things out in 3-0 ways? That'll be exciting to find out. What also is exciting to find out is, can Chili Mountain end a game up against Oxygen Esports, Justing? Because this Alterac Pass map, it was a little wild, to be honest.
Yeah, it was definitely wild, and we're about to find out because the clip starts and Oxygen has just finished taking the boss, and you can tell at the top of the map, Chili Mountain is also on the other boss. And there is a keep to go through for on bottom lane for Oxygen Esports, but they do have Sylvanas, and since they finished the boss earlier, they're getting there way faster than Chili Mountain is. So Chili Mountain opts in to defend, and they all go back, and they know that the boss top is going to push top and try to end the game with no keeps available. The core on Alterac is a lot weaker than on other maps. And Vince goes in a little bit over-eager, a little bit too early maybe, and Max Passion comes in with a great keg. You know, he knows how to use that, and Vince just gets caught out of position, but Oxygen knows that if they leave here, they're not in a good situation. They can lose the game, their core is in trouble, so they just go for the all-in, and Madara creates a ton of space here. He dives into the backline and distracts them for a long time. He's back out, and that bought so much time for Nazmaz on the Samuro to just wail away on the core here. And they know that they just have to use everything on this, and they go for it, and they do get it, just barely, with all of them dead. Just hardly finished the game there. It was a really, really hype moment. Either team just could have won there.
It was a really exciting Alterac Pass map because there were a couple moments where even Grubby and I on the broadcast were like, Chili Mountain needs to go end the game, otherwise they might get pushed up against a wall. And that actually was exactly the case with that bottom lane push from Oxygen, who did beat out Chili Mountain in that 3rd matchup of the weekend in a 3-1 way. Really well played from Oxygen. Excited to see all the great action we'll see from both of these teams in the upcoming weekend of CCL. But we're not done with these clips just yet because we had our 4th best of 5 of the weekend of 30k up against Wildheart and Justing. I was expecting so much from this series, but 30k were just so extremely dominant, like we see here on this example on Dragonshire.
Yeah, 30k were super dominant all throughout, and as we can see, the clip begins, and Tremor on Wildheart is looking for the pick onto a Nubarak. They get him to just like 1 HP, Zergling blinks in, but doesn't get the reset, so he just dies because of that. It's such small margins. They have Monk cleanse and they have Lunara with the 13 cleanse. Going for a play like that is really risky, and blinking forward on Li Ming, the risk is just too much. He just dies. He just hardly doesn't get the reset. And now Tremor looks for a good play here because they're desperate. It's 4v5. If they lose this Dragon Knight, they lose the game. And Tremor goes for the flip onto Lunara, but immediately you have the cleanse from Monk, and the engage just gets completely countered. Diablo's just unable to play the game. Liam on Urel's just hopping around, having the time of his life. And at this point, it's just too little, too late for Wildheart. They flub the engage, Li Ming gets picked. They can't win the 4v5, and 30k just showing up just to be better in this series.
My favorite part of that is towards the end of the clip, you can see they've won the exchange. They got what I believe was a pentakill into the side of Wildheart, and Hazuab still, as the Lunara, opts to go run to mid lane and grab the Dragon Knight. So, you know what they say, if there's camps available, you gotta grab those camps, gotta grab that objective. You can't just go core and end a game, Justing. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's boring.
But you know what isn't boring, Justing? Our fifth and final clip from week number 4, which I deemed as my top clip. This is probably one of the coolest moments we've had thus far in CCL Season 3, and please break this down for us here on Curse Hollow.
Yeah, this was probably one of the coolest plays we've seen yet so far this season. So the clip begins with both teams allegedly trading bosses, or so they thought. So Granite Gaming leaves Falstad to finish the boss here, very slowly, but he has the global, so he sends the rest of his team to go rotate over to the enemy boss. And you have Swamp Grata on the Urel just scouting, and he sees it, and he actually manages to get onto the point just in time, just barely, to pop his Ardent Defender. And Granite Gaming is here. They don't expect this at all because Falstad finished the boss, and you can't get them off the point once the tanks get on the point. Mene is chasing Henning around, and the fight's just really split at this point. Unaverted has to jump over the wall. Both the range DPS from Simplicity are just completely split. And just a really, really smart macro play coming out from Granite Gaming to leave the Falstad to finish the boss so that they could buy time to get there to contest. Simplicity had no idea this was coming up until it was too late. And then a nice, cute little stun from Masquerade to finish the clip off. Just all in all, just a really, really cool play.
It was such a great play, such a great series, and as we mentioned, Simplicity did beat out Granite Gaming in a 3-1 way, but still, I gotta say, this Granite Gaming really showed up and made some awesome plays, and I'm excited to see what they can do in the upcoming weekend of CCL Season 3. Looking forward to our Saturday CCL matches, we're going to be seeing 30k up against Diamond Hands, and then we'll have Oxygen Esports versus Simplicity. A really exciting Saturday day of games, Justing. What are you looking forward to the most between these two best of fives?
So all these games, I think, are going to be really good series, really close series. 30k versus Diamond Hands is going to be really interesting because Diamond Hands just came off with their first reverse sweep, and it was against Storm Esports, which looked very, very strong in the previous week. And 30k just completely annihilating Wildheart in the last week. I think all these teams are coming up, or both of these teams are coming with huge highs from the previous week. So I think it's going to be just really, really interesting to see how that clashes when you have two teams that had just such dominant, or such important games in the previous week. Just two really strong teams.
I definitely like what we saw from both of these teams in week number 4, and excited to see what progression they can bring into this week 5 with that extra week off for the US holiday. Oxygen versus Simplicity will be exciting for me just because Simplicity did lose a game to Granite Gaming, so we could potentially see Oxygen maybe finding that Achilles heel per se and take down the giant that is our number 1 in CCL, Simplicity. Looking forward to our Sunday matchups here on HeroesCCL. We're going to be seeing Storm Esports up against the reformed Chili Mountain and Wildheart Esports up against Granite Gaming. Got to get your thoughts on these two matchups here, Justing.
So both of these, I think, will also be pretty good games. Wildheart, they did look shaky last week. I think that they're still a team that really wants to thrive for that top 3 position, and Granite Gaming's been on the upswing as well. So both of those teams, I think, while they aren't doing maybe quite as well as they'd hope in the standings, I think both of those teams are kind of on the up and up. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Chili Mountain is able to perform while they haven't done so great in the past. And Storm's been a little bit on and off, a little hot and cold. It'll be a really good test to see with their new roster changes that they're making for Chili Mountain with the addition of Copenhagen and Ultralisk. We'll see if that breathe some new life into the Chili Mountain roster, similarly to how it feels it has for Granite Gaming.
excited to see how this new Chili Mountain roster will kind of operate in these upcoming games. It is going to be on Thursday when they did drop Smexy and Max Passion for Copen and Ultralisk, so this will be a very small window for teams to practice, synergize, and get kind of on the same level-headed playing field. Really excited to see what happens with Chili Mountain, but I agree, Wildheart versus Granite Gaming, that's kind of the standout match this Sunday for me. Thank you everyone for swinging through and checking out the HeroesCCL pre-show presented by Wisdom. If you think Justing and I missed any clips, or are there any better clips out there, by all means, leave a comment below, add us on Twitter, find us on Discord, you know the ways to bother us. Either way, there's also amazing other places where you can check out more HeroesCCL action highlights and shorts as well. You can check out the Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and of course YouTube for all of your HeroesCCL action. Until week number 5, where we do another one of these awesome clip reviews, I've been Bahamut, joined by Justing. You will have an awesome night, and I'll see you in the Nexus.